Brud and I'm going to talk about let food be thy medicine. Hippocrates said that around 350 BC, plus or minus. My story begins in May of 2014, when I was approaching my 69th birthday, basically reflecting on how the next 30 years was going to play out. I grew up in a logging town of 250 people in the Appalachians of Western Maine, went to a one-room schoolhouse, K through 8, one teacher, so on and so forth. Spent some time in Uncle Sam's Army, 50 years in the financial services business, selling life insurance, doing estate planning, so on and so forth. So what are my credentials for opining on wellness? Conventionally, you could argue zero. Personal experience, I would argue plenty. I've had plenty of experience with wellness. I was also active in sports and outdoor activities, like any kid growing up in a rural America would be. And so my sense of well-being was very high. If somebody said, how you doing? How you feeling? How's your health? I'd say, great. I got a lot of fresh air and so on and so forth. But there came a time when it was obvious the wheels were coming off my wellness wagon. I've been sick, as it turns out, for 50 years and getting sicker by the day. I didn't need a doctor to tell me how I was doing. Constant indigestion, knees, hips, back, shoulders, energy, brain fog. I say the wheels were starting to come off. Spinal surgery in 2008 at age 63, I was definitely not on a good track. So in May of 2014, as I say, I made a decision to see what I could do to put the brakes on my fast deteriorating health. Now at age 77, I was recently been given a clean bill of health after a comprehensive annual physical. 63 of 63 screens, including blood, urine, CAT scans, so on and so forth, 63 of the 63 came back normal. I take one medication. I take a teaspoon of broccoli microgreen powder a day. I don't take any Zantac, Prilosec, no more baking soda, no Tums or Rolaids, no Tylenol, Advil, Aleve, all that over-the-counter stuff. And I don't take any prescription meds for anything. So my TED Talk will summarize my journey from 2014 to 2022, including the development of our broccoli microgreen powder. With the help of hundreds of National Institutes of Health studies, which was inspired by material that I looked at over the years from the famous Dr. Jed Fahey at Johns Hopkins, who isolated something called sulforaphane. And then Dr. Rhonda Patrick came up with sulforaphane and has opined on that extensively. And then there's Dr. Eric Berg. And so I studied these people, and they convinced me, and I think they've convinced a lot of people, that cruciferous vegetables, broccoli sprouts, produce a lot of sulforaphane, and sulforaphane is a quite remarkable natural product. So my story, I think, is applicable to millions of folks who are searching for wellness for themselves, friends, and families, using all natural options that are practical, viable, economic, and available. So what we've done is we're able to deliver that broccoli sprouts, including the sulforaphane, in a manner that is, number one, certified organic, and so there's no toxins grown. Number two, it's a whole food, and so it hasn't been processed. We have a proprietary system that we use to process it that doesn't expose it to a lot of heat, etc. And so number three, and it's a whole food, it's living, and it's in a powder form. So I've built upon a lot of the discoveries that have been made by the experts and the people who've discovered it, and we've gone from there. So I'm going to be talking about live versus dead food, certified organic versus toxic, whole food versus compromised, especially about sulforaphane and its anti-inflammatory, and on there. So I look forward to having that opportunity.